Welcome back, Knights of the Northern Castle. I hope everyone is ready for another great quest. Have you seen my friend Sparky?
Here I am. Sorry I was late. I had cold feet.
What? What are you talking about?
You know, cold feet. Nervous? It's a joke.
Oh, Sparky, have you been reading that old joke book again?
Oh yeah, I figured I'd better brush up on some jokes about the cold. After all, everything is cool at the North Castle. Feel free to chill out. Armorer, could you check my wing? You know the royal dog, don't you?
Frost, the king's dog? Did he bite your wing?
He sure did. Now I have frostbite. Get it?
Unfortunately, I do. Sparky, I found another riddle about the great armor. Remember, these riddles are written in ancient dragon language.
And I'm the only one here who can interpret it. Let me see what you have. This one says, if the breastplate of justice is what you seek, look for 5 pebbles in a creek.
The breastplate of justice must be another piece of the armor. So, to find it, we have to look for the 5 pebbles in a creek.
Well, around here, it would be 5 pebbles in a frozen moat.
I think the riddle is trying to tell us where to look in the king's book. 5 pebbles. Well, in looking through here, I see where people gathered 12 rocks after they crossed a river, but that wouldn't be it.
There was a boy who had 5 loaves of bread. I've eaten some bread that was just about as hard as a rock.
I've got it! There's a story in 1 Samuel 17, 1 through 50 about a boy and 5 stones. Maybe that's it. Let's take a look inside the king's book.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, tells us about one of the most famous battles in the history of the world. It all starts with King Saul, a very strong and handsome guy. However, as we learn later, he was not a great king at all. Therefore, God chose a small young shepherd to be the next king. He was the smallest and youngest of 8 sons. His name was David. This little shepherd really loved God. King Saul led his people in battle against their arch nemesis, the Philistines. They were not very nice people. When I said they were not nice, I meant to say they were very mean. Thank you. The Philistine army was very confident, and for good reason. They had a secret weapon, a powerful soldier named Goliath. He measured 6 cubits and a span. In other words, he was very tall. Taller than that. Taller? Close enough. Every day, Goliath yelled at the Israelites to send out someone to fight. All the Israelites, including King Saul, were too afraid to fight Goliath, so they did nothing for 40 days. Nothing, that is, until little David showed up to bring lunch to his brothers. While delivering food, David heard Goliath shouting at the Israelites, "Send out a man for me to fight." So he volunteered. The king was unsure about sending a boy into battle. But David told the king about how he had fought both lion and bear to protect his sheep. I will do the same to Goliath. The king agreed and gave David all of his armor to wear, but it didn't fit. Instead, David simply took his sling, went to the creek, and found 5 smooth rocks. Maybe try those smaller ones over there? With only his sling and a bag of rocks, David goes to fight the powerful Goliath. Now, it was Goliath's turn to be shocked as he saw David approaching. Instead of a strong warrior, the Israelites sent a small shepherd boy with no armor. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" Unfazed, David said, "You fight me with weapons, but God will win this battle. Goliath just laughed. Maybe a little more... Yeah, that's it. Anyway, David took a stone from his bag, put it in his sling, and flung it at Goliath. It hit him right in the head, and he fell on his face. When the other Philistines saw that Goliath was dead, they all ran away, and the Israelites ran after them. All of this was just as David said when he told Goliath, "Our God doesn't need swords or spears. God owns this battle, and he will hand all of you over to us and bring justice." And this is just one great story from the King's Book.
That was one epic battle, and that story answered our riddle about the pebbles in a creek. Sparky, Sparky!
It's over? Was the giant defeated?
Yes, where did you go? Were you afraid of Goliath?
Of course!
Well, so were the Israelites. I bet David would be a big fan of our banner verse. Remember, it's Ephesians 6:10, and it says, "Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power." Sparky, why don't you say it this time with us?
Be
Strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
That does give a little more courage.
Speaking of courage, our knights did a great job on their first quest last time. Now it's time for another quest.
Last time, our brave knights practiced their balance, which is very important for a knight. What do they need to practice this time?
This time we need to practice a little horse riding. Horse riding is a big part of being a knight. Knights need to spend a lot of time on horses and need to do it right, so they don't fall off. Everyone, stand up with me. Now bend your knees a little bit. Keep your back straight and bounce up and down.
Do they need to hold on to anything?
Thanks for the reminder. Yes, a knight would hold onto the reins of a horse. You could pretend to do that with either one hand or two hands. Try that with me.
They're looking more and more like knights. What's our castle call out for today?
Okay, go ahead.
The castle call is armor up with justice. Remember, put your fists on your shoulders. And then with justice, you put your fists up into the air. Now put it together. Armor up with justice.
Off you go to find the Breastplate of Justice.